welcome to the third in our series of coffee and chat, I think. Did I call it? I can't remember what it was now, but it was 100 cups of coffee. That's what we were going for in our Not Networking Plus series. And I'm here this morning with Sarah Jouault of, you were an author, aren't you? And you have an amazing story to tell. So tell us a little bit about your book.
Well, my book I wrote and had it published in June last year, and I only thought about the title just before it was published and never gave up. And the main reason was that through my life, mainly my racing and fundraising, I never gave up, I just gave back. So I feel that I want people to be able to share my story and to inspire people to go out there and help raise money for charity. I've raised for numerous different charities, so far a total of over £162,000 for terminally ill children. And I want to always give back to people. And so I felt by writing my book that I could show people that you don't have to go to drugs or alcohol if harmful things happen. Now my cuckoo clock's going off.
It'll all add to the... it's fine.
Well, the cuckoo clock is in my book actually, because my brother Tim decided that we should go and do a bike race after I'd given up doing triathlon. And so I decided to do the race in Italy, in the Dolomites, 10,000 feet of climbing, and I just thought this is so hard to do. And I actually trained in the hills of Goodwood. So I'd cycle up Goodwood Hill 30 times. Have you ever tried to cycle up a hill 30 times?
I haven't tried. I mean, if it's not flat, I'm not cycling.
Anyway, I did the race, and there were 163 women in my age group. This was in 2018, sorry. And I was the only British woman doing it. The rest were Italian, French and German, and I came 12th. And I didn't even race. I was so chuffed. I remember the first time I went up the first hill with my brother Tim, I cried all the way up. And he said, look at all these famous people's names were written on the mountains. You know, when you're cycling up a mountain for 6 miles, it's really hard, but it was incredible. 9,000 cyclists going up a mountain altogether. It was fantastic. But yes, the things that I'm extremely proud of is that I conquered water. I could not swim at all. I was petrified. And I ran into a race. There was 100 of us and we had to qualify. I might just read you a little bit of my book. So I had qualified for this race. There was 100 people. I was 98th out of the water. Then I was 47th on the bike. And then I had to be in the top 20 to get a place. So I finished in 12th. So not only did I get in the top 20, I was 12th. So it's now the 12th of June, 7:15 in the morning, 2005. I'm here in the city of the Bay of the Great Escape from Alcatraz Triathlon. There are 1,471 of us, 20 from the UK. And we feel like cattle as we are herded onto the San Francisco Bell, a pedal steamer to be taken to what was one of the world's most notorious prisons. It's still dark and everyone is talking. I'm nervous and the journey seems to be taken forever. And then suddenly we're there and told to jump off the boat 15 feet into the dark water below. The starting gun goes off at the commence of the 1.5 mile swim to the shore. We have 8 minutes to get in the water. I'm still on the boat, panic-stricken, unable to move, watching the others, competitors, leap happily into the sea. One of the marshals shouts, "You have to jump. You cannot stay on board." I yell back, "I can't. The water will go over my head. I'm really scared." Obviously, he was not expecting anything like this, but he tries to help me, saying if you put your arms out when you jump, you won't go under the water. I continue to stand there petrified, thinking I have never ever swum this far in open water in a triathlon, and I'm doing front crawl for the first time in this competition. Finally I jump. The ice cold 55 degrees water hits my face. I can't breathe, and oh yes, I'm asthmatic. I panic. All around me I can hear people shouting above the noise of the ferry, and I have only one thought: will I ever reach that giant orange ball on the beach? I swim as hard as fast as I can, seemingly for ages, and my arms are really hurting, but something's not right. Rather than the ball getting bigger, the orange ball is getting smaller.
Oh no! That's not meant to happen. So you had further to swim than you anticipated, or you were meant to?
I did. And I just feel like, I never gave up. And I did finish the race. You have to read the book to find out the rest. But I just want to share with people that, I've been through some horrific things in my life. I had 3 very unsuccessful marriages with alcoholics, and I still managed to pull myself up and get back on with my life. And I think one of the biggest things was running. Even if you can't run, you can walk. Just being outside, your feet on the ground. And now I can swim without any fear. If you told me to swim to the Isle of Wight or to France, I would.
You would. You were telling me just now about another swimming event that you were taking part in, and you'd forgotten that you were there to race and were actually just admiring the fish, which I think is brilliant.
Yeah, that was...
completely unfazed by being in the water by that time.
Yeah, it was the World Championships in Kona. There was 3,000 of us in the water, and today they do the swims quite differently now. You go in sections of 4 people at a time every so many seconds. They've realised that it wasn't so safe to put everybody in the water together, especially 3,000 of us. But I did start the race watching the fish, and then suddenly realised that I needed to swim. And that it was then that my fear went. That race was, you couldn't be scared.
So what do you think is behind the drive to do all of these challenges to raise all this money for you?
I think having children that are all adults, that haven't lost their lives, and I think for parents that lose their children at a young age, it's very, very hard. So I've always felt that I wanted to raise money for children rather than adults, because when you're an adult and you die, you have money, and there's people that have money, but a child doesn't have any money, and often the parents are very poor. So even when lockdown happened, I had this need to raise money. I couldn't do any racing or anything because there wasn't anything to do. So I'd bake bread and cakes and jams and sell them from my front door, so that nobody had to come into my house and they could buy from my front door. And I raised money that way. I suppose that's the thing. I don't think I will ever be able to stop raising money for
children. There truly has been no stopping you, has there? Whatever, and I kind of admire you, and I think you're very inspiring. And very similar story, I think, to my own, is that that drive to overcome any obstacles, any fears. If there's anything that I have felt that has been challenging in my life, I have to face it head on, and I think that's exactly where that's driven you to that point where you have to face those challenges, to overcome those fears. But you've done it in a much more in a way that's been more effective by doing the charity work as well, and raising the money. So.
And I have, over the years, I've had some wonderful experiences. I ran in the Olympic Stadium. I was the 2nd highest fundraiser in the Olympics. I've been made a Paul Harris for Rotary, and I still carried on right up until last year. When I was 71, I was still giving back and not giving up. So I want to be able to share my story with people, obviously with the sales of my book, which part of it goes to Chestnut Tree House, but also by going and speaking to people, to show people that you can achieve anything. Anything is achievable, however small it is.
If you've got the desire to achieve it, you can do it. But there's a lot of grit and determination behind all of that, isn't there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you do have to you have to self-motivate. You have to learn to be accountable for yourself, for your own actions, what you do. And today, with the mental health issues and saying how important the first years of your life are, I think my first years of my life were special because I spent a lot of time with my nana and granddad. And being with older people, I learned different values, like they always cooked their own and grew their own vegetables. Nana had a store of food because obviously they were alive in the Second World War where there were shortages. So I learned lots of things from being with my nana and granddad. And that has showed itself in my personality as I've grown up, and not fallen, into drugs and alcohol, which so many people do today. You can just walk a short while every day, and that helps your mental health, immensely.
Exactly, just getting outside the house, we're just feeling that fresh air in our hair.
And the other thing is, you can go out for a walk or a run in the rain and cry because nobody can see you crying. Nobody can see you crying, so that's like a special thing. And I don't know, I just feel that in my later years in my life, I want to help people. I want to inspire them.
So for you, you're looking ultimately to get your book out there in front of as many people as possible, and you're looking for those speaking opportunities as well. Yeah. Yes. So anybody watching this who's interested in your book, where can they get a copy?
I'm just sorting out getting my copy actually distributed to Amazon, the physical book. So that's going to happen in the next 3 or 4 weeks. Otherwise, you can contact me, and I can post you a book, and obviously then you get it signed by me.
Oh wow! Don't go to Amazon. Just put Sarah a message.
Yeah. So I do have books which I can post out to you. As for speaking, again, contact me. And Gina has been wonderful with her networking group. I've been to other groups, and I admire her for setting up something where people can meet, and it doesn't cost you a penny. And then if you want to do something to help her, then you can promote her networking, not networking.
Exactly.
Which is helpful for everybody that's going into business and promoting and helping people help people.
Absolutely.
And that's what it's all about. And it's about also coming back again. Some other networking groups I went, you didn't really see anybody else. But now, it comes like a family, and then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and everybody helps everybody, which is really special.
Yeah, all these things have a tipping point, and again, it's I've run networking events where maybe one person's turned up before, but it's not deterred me from going and meeting that one person, because you just don't know where it's going to lead to. And so it's from purely consistently showing up when I'm said I'm going to show up. That it's started to grow into what it is. So yeah.
And hopefully within a couple of months, I think it'll be now, I'm doing an audio book of it, so that people, because not everybody likes to have a physical book to read, so and that will go out on Amazon, but that won't be for a couple of months. And I'm actually doing that through another networking group that I meant, that's a charity, and they're letting me use their studio for charity. So I'm making a small donation to their charity. So I'm always about giving back to people.
Yeah. And you're reading the book yourself.
I am reading the book myself.
Which is nice. It's always nice to have the author read the book. So many authors will find a ghost reader to read their book for them, but the fact it's you sharing your story, it's going to be so much more heartfelt for those people that are listening to it.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
Well, as I said, if anybody is looking for speakers that can inspire people, that can that you want to get in front of your audience, then do contact Sarah. She'll be very happy to come and speak to your audience for you.
I will. Thank you very much.
It's been great having a chat with you this morning, Sarah.
And
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.